Okay, what is a nitty naughty? It's spelled like this.
I would say that's like your evil alternative.
Today we have a special guest.
Me.
Kent, if you haven't seen him before, is my husband, and you are not a knitter.
I am not.
Or a crocheter.
Nope.
So I went on Instagram and I asked everyone to give me questions about knitting, crochet, yarn, stuff in general to ask you and test your knowledge.
Cool.
So a lot of these questions I feel like I don't actually know the answer to, so we're just going to do our best today. But I thought I would start with one of my own questions just to kind of get warmed up. How does that sound?
Okay.
Okay. So first question is, what is the difference between knitting and crochet?
So knitting,
Uh-huh.
you have typically 2 needles,
Okay.
and crochet you have a hook.
Yes.
But-
Wait, what do you mean typically?
Well, I think there's some way where you don't have to like hold the 2 needles. There's some way where like you put a needle like somewhere on you. I guess it's still 2 needles. You're not holding 2 needles.
Okay.
Also, where the stitches come together is different.
Like under your arm?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's something like that.
Okay.
I know knitting is like the stitch, and then a crochet stitch is more like a little knot.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely formed differently. I don't even know if I could give you like the actual structure of the different stitches and how those are different. But yeah, I think you got that right. Good job. Ding.
Ding.
Scoreboard says 1.
No scoreboard.
No scoreboard. Okay, let's get into the questions that everyone else asked. Okay, so lots of people wanted to know if you could either name different yarn weights or try to name them in order, or like there was questions asking you like what weight comes above this one. So why don't you just name as many of the yarn weights as you know, and if you can do them in order, then that's fine too.
Okay, I'm gonna go from heaviest to lightest, I think.
Okay, like biggest.
Biggest
Okay.
to lightest. So I know there's chunky and bulky, and there's like a super bulky, and I think a super chunky. Like they go
Okay.
boom, boom, and then there's worsted, DK, fingering, sport, lace, and there's something else with like a spider
Cobweb.
cobweb.
Okay, that's really close. You're missing one name, and then you have a couple that are like not quite in the right order.
Okay.
Do you know which one you're missing?
No.
Okay, you're missing one that I think a lot of people would miss, and it's Aran weight, ARAN.
Okay.
And it's heavier than worsted weight, but lighter than chunky.
Okay.
And then you had, let's see, it's like super bulky, bulkier, chunky, Aran, worsted, DK, and then I think you had sport and fingering weight swap. So sport and then fingering,
Okay.
lace, and then like cobweb. So that's good.
Cool.
Nice job. I knew you could name those. Okay, this is also has to do with yarn weights, but it's an interestingly worded question.
Okay.
So if you combine a fingering weight yarn with a lace weight yarn, what would you get?
Okay. So thinking of this, trying to think of this logically, if we were to say that lace was like 1
Okay.
and fingering was 2,
Okay.
you would get those to 3, and that would be sport.
Wow. Okay. I'm impressed, actually. Did you know that there's actually numbers for the different weights?
No.
Okay, so I actually am not as familiar with this because this is pretty typical for more commercially made yarns. So there's a whole system that we named, which is like naming the different weights. And then there's a system of numbering. But there are charts that like put them side by side. I think fingering weight might be 1 and lace weight might be 0. So it might be, but I think you're right though. I think if you combine a lace weight and a fingering weight, you're going to get sport weight because fingering weight and fingering weight is DK. So I think you're right there. I think there's something in there. The numbers I'm not sure about, but I think you're right as far as the total. That's impressive. Next question is, what is gauge?
Gauge is like how tight you knit your stitches.
Yeah, pretty much. Do you know how we measure it?
I think it's like you you make a gauge swatch that's like a certain size, and you just measure the stitches in it, and that way you can be like, oh, I need these many stitches to go on this round.
Yeah, it's like stitches per inch, rows per inch, basically that. Oh, hold on, let's see.
You should always swatch.
You should always swatch.
Gauge swatch. You should always do it.
I love that. Okay. This is a good one. Which one is thicker, bulky yarn or chunky yarn?
Oh, I just talked about this. I think bulky.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know. I feel like sometimes they're interchangeable. It just depends on the yarn. Truly. There's one that I'm looking for. There was another gauge question. Oh, here we go. If your gauge is too big, do you need to go up or down a needle size?
If your gauge is too big. Oh, okay. If your gauge is too big. So that probably means you have too many stitches per inch. Because the gauge should just be like you're going like a 3-inch square. So if it's too big, there's probably... Oh, I can see either way though.
I know, me too. And I'm not really sure what they mean by too big.
If it's too big... Well, obviously, if you have too many stitches, you need to go up a needle size.
Yeah.
And if you have not enough stitches, you need to go the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's raining.
Is it raining?
Yep.
Oh, no.
We can power through.
We can try. It's starting to rain hard, though. It's not supposed to be raining right now. It says sunny, partially cloudy. It might just be the water from the leaves coming off. I think that's all that it was.
Felt very,
okay.
Yeah.
You're doing so good on this. Okay, this one's a little bit harder.
Okay.
What is the difference between worsted spun and woolen spun yarn? And interestingly, we have not learned this at any of the, why can't I think of the word? Any of the the spinnery, what are they called?
Spinnery?
Mills. Any of the mills we've been to.
A worsted spun and a woolen spun?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea.
That's okay, because I don't either. Maybe everyone can tell us, because I'm not sure. I mean, it's something in the way that they're spun. And I think the woolen spun is like floofier or something, and the worsted spun has like more plies, but that could be wrong.
Yeah, no idea.
Maybe one day we'll learn to spin and we'll know. This says, what is your favorite yarn weight to work with? But maybe they mean me. Do you know what my favorite yarn weight is to work with?
Yeah, fingering, 1,000%.
Yeah, I do like working with fingering weight. What is your favorite?
That when we first started dating, went to a yarn store and they had like extra super bulky chunky weight that was like looked like a rope, like a boat rope. Mm-hmm. It was just
That was your favorite?
Definitely.
Yeah, you did do some arm knitting, I guess, right? Is it finger knitting or arm knitting?
Arm, but that was with like, or maybe it was finger. I don't know, but that was like a normal size yarn. The one I'm talking about was like legit, like a nautical rope.
Okay. What does DK stand for?
Donkey Kong.
Yes, but in knitting and crochet.
Okay. I actually don't know. It feels German.
Yeah, I think it's double knit.
Okay.
But honestly, it could be something else. But double knit is what I have heard. What is the difference between superwash and non-superwash yarn?
It has something to do with... Okay, let's think. I know one of them you can like wash normally and one you can't. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing it just has to be like treated with something when it's like being made that helps like keep the color when you wash it normally versus never washing it or having to like hand wash it.
Yeah, I think that's totally right. I again, these are things that I don't know fully, so please go research this before you take this for truth. But I think there's like two main ways to treat a yarn to make it a superwash. One like is kind of more mechanical, where it like strips all the like extra barbs and fibers, and then one is more chemical, where it does the same thing but with chemicals. So I don't know, but you're totally right about like basically one is more washable by like machine than others. Okay, what is the best wool to nylon ratio for socks?
8515.
Where are you getting that from? Like, why is that the best to you?
It just is.
Okay. I support your decision. Okay, which yarn producing animal is your favorite?
Oh. I feel like it should be easy.
Do you have more than one? Is that why it's a hard decision?
Well, the little bunnies you met the other day were pretty cute.
Yes.
I mean, that's probably my answer. They were pretty fun.
The Angora
Yeah.
rabbits? Okay.
They were a vibe.
We got to see them in Maui, and that's gonna be a little while until that tour comes out, but they were really cool. I like those too. If I were to knit you a sweater, what kind of yarn would you want it to be in?
Oh. I don't know. That's hard because I've never wanted a sweater.
You still don't want a sweater?
Not really.
You're not really a sweater wearer.
No.
Well, maybe something else.
Yeah.
I've really only made you hats.
And socks.
Well, yeah, I made you one pair of socks, but you haven't worn them.
I don't know. I wear like sandals all the time. It's kind of a vibe.
I also finished them. Didn't I finish them like in the summer? So it hasn't been cold.
I don't remember, but yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if I have a favorite kind of yarn.
Is there any yarn that feels
wear.
like softest to you?
So, no, not really.
Angora.
I mean, there are definitely some that feel like scratchier, but I think there's a point where, to me, as someone who doesn't wear it, like they kind of feel somewhat similar.
Yeah, I can understand that. When you work with them, you kind of get a better sense of how they feel. That's fair. Okay, now we're going to get into some more like technical questions, more like, I'm going to call this like vocabulary. So this one, I'm honestly have been so impressed so far with your answers, even though I know you and I get
You're
to
saying
hear
this
you.
like with this where it's going to derail and I'm not going to know anything.
I am. I'm just prefacing this because I don't want you to feel bad for not knowing these.
Okay.
So this is going to be like terms that knitters and crocheters might use or see in patterns.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I can show them to you. So this says M1R, M1L. And it says, how do you do this? But I'm more curious if you know what they are. Or what they would do in a pattern.
Move one to the right. Move one to the left.
Okay. No.
I don't.
Okay, can I tell you what they are, and then you can tell me what you think it does?
Okay.
It's a make one right and a make one left.
Wasn't that far off?
No. So what do you think it does to your pattern?
One right, make one left. I don't know.
Let me see what the other ones are if I'm going to give you an answer. Nope. Okay. So it creates a stitch, basically. It's an increase.
Okay.
So like adds a new stitch, and like the left and right is how it leans. So like on one side of your sweater, you would do it one way, or sock, and on the other side, you would do it a different way. Okay. That was probably the hardest one. Except what is a float?
A float is where you put ice cream into the soda.
Yes.
You could also, okay, let's think. If you're going to float your stitch, that almost sounds like you wouldn't knit on it. Like you would just have it go across. And you would like almost like skip the other part of it.
Okay. That's not super far off. Let me tell you?
Sure.
So a float is in color work where you carry yarn across the back. So in a sense, you are skipping those stitches, like you're still knitting them, but with the other color. And so the float comes across the back, which is why my pattern is called the float tote, because it's made for color work.
Cool.
So now you know. Okay. This person gave a list of different kinds of stitches.
Oh gosh.
These are crochet stitches.
Okay.
And you need to identify which one is not a real one.
Okay.
So this one's kind of a, I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. Okay. I'm sorry. There's knitting and crochet stitches in here.
Okay.
Which one is not real? Brioche stitch, macaron stitch, popcorn stitch.
Macaron.
How did you know that?
I just do. I was as soon as you said it, I knew it wasn't real.
Was it because of the way I said it?
No, I just know it's not real.
I tried to make them all seem very similar. Okay, good job. You're right. Macaron stitch, not a stitch. Brioche is more leaning towards knitting. Popcorn stitch is more leaning towards crochet, but I think you can do both in both crafts. Okay, what is a nitty naughty? It's spelled like this.
I would say that's like your evil alternative. Let me see it again. Naughty. That's going to be when you make like the little bumps in the pattern. Like you're knitting and you want to add like texture. That's a nitty naughty.
Let me give you a clue.
Okay.
It's a tool that you use.
Let me see it again. Nitty naughty. I have no idea.
It's okay. Okay, so it's this thing that like, it kind of looks strange because it's got a longer dowel in the middle and then like two on the side that go like opposite ways. And you wind a hank of yarn or like a skein of yarn on it. So most people don't really need them or use them, but you can make your own little hanks and skeins if you need to. So I think I have one, but it's like really small and I've never really used it. Okay, difference between a twisted hank, a skein, and a cake.
Okay.
Like, what are the shapes?
So a cake is round like this.
Mm-hmm.
A twisted hank and skein have me kind of confused. Well, skein is like a normal thing of yarn.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm going to put it right here in my hands. I'm going to
Okay.
find a clip art version of it. We should have gone to Chipotle.
My stomach is so loud.
A twisted hank?
What is a hank of yarn?
Just like the thing of yarn.
Yeah. Like from the dyer that's like twisted up. You have to wind it. So I will say that I also call that a skein, but a skein can also be just like a ball of yarn that isn't a cake. Like it could be like that, like kind of football shaped one, like oval, or different things. And everyone has kind of different terms, but I think technically the one that's all twisted up, like from an independent dyer, is a hank. And then the skeins are like, you could just knit or crochet right off of them.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. You can let us know what you think about that. But I definitely use skein for when you get it straight from like a yarn store or dyer.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're not technically wrong. Okay, this is the last little abbreviation one.
Okay.
What is a DPN?
DPN is...
Should I give you a framework for it?
Let me think.
Okay.
It's a down pressure needle.
Okay, needle is correct.
A DPN is a double purl needle.
Okay, it's a double something needle.
A double pressure needle. Double.
What does the DPN on both ends has a
point?
Yes.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Double pointed needle.
Okay.
Very nice. And then what is SSK? And this is a stitch.
SSK. Oh, I thought it was super summer knit along or whatever.
It is. Here in Nashville, they have a marketplace and a retreat.
Okay, the SSK is going to be the super. Oh, I'm really stuck on the Nashville part. SSK. Samples. Strands. Is the K knit?
Yes.
SSK.
I'm gonna give you.
Can you use it in a sentence?
I'm gonna give you a visual.
Can I have the country of origin?
Nope, because I don't know. Oh no, this is gonna make it seem like it's something else. I'm just gonna do it anyway.
You're sliding.
Yes, and that's what I was afraid of because it's not slide; it's a different word. What's something similar? Imagine
a skate.
No, imagine that I ran and I went like this. No, even better.
Swan dive.
Whoa.
Slip.
Yes.
A slip stitch knit.
Slip. Actually, even easier than that.
Slip.
slip knit.
Slip knit.
And it is a decrease. So the opposite of our make one right and left. Nice. We have one last question that's kind of like a quick answer, and then we're going into some that are a little more thoughtful. They're less like quizzing you about the yarn world and more just like asking you questions about them. So here's our last little quiz one. You're going to have 60 seconds to name as many fibers as you can. Hold on, let me pull up my timer. You get a little time to think for a second. My goodness.
And so different fibers would also be different like animals and stuff, right?
Different animals. And then also even within that, like different animals have different breeds. If you think of any of those. You don't have to worry about that, but. All right. Ready?
Yep.
Go.
Okay. There's Angora bunny. There's alpaca, and there's like 2 different kinds that we just saw. There's llamas. There's sheep. And in the sheep world, there's a whole bunch. There's like Rambouillet, there's Blueface something, Leicester. There's cotton, bamboo, banana silk, cashmere, mohair, a whole bunch of kinds of like silks.
Okay.
Like 15 silks. Just put them all on there.
Okay.
Camel.
Okay.
We saw a dog.
Yeah?
People use cat.
I don't know.
You use human hair.
I would say probably not.
Really anything. It's like a meet the parents moment. Anything with hair you could knit. I don't know. Trying to think of other sheep. There's
Oh. That was your time. I got 14 for you.
Okay.
Because I counted your 2 different kinds of sheep that you said.
Okay.
The Rambouillet and the Blueface Leicester. That was really good.
Okay.
I'm proud.
Cool.
We are now in a big old box of sun. Should we scoot up?
I'm taking the vitamin
Or do we look
C?
okay?
D?
Is it recording? Oh, it is recording. Is it fine, actually?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just keep going?
Yep.
Meditate.
I haven't seen the sun in days.
What? Why?
I've been playing World of Warcraft, The War Within.
Ridiculous. And it's all dark up there. Okay, ready to get into some more thoughtful questions? This is going to be our last segment.
Okay.
Okay, what yarn tour has been my favorite? And what has been yours? I don't know.
Ooh, has been our favorites. I don't know if it's easy to pick a favorite.
I know.
I always feel like the most recent one we did was like up there.
I actually can think of my favorite, and there's like a distinct reason for why it's my favorite. And like I don't feel guilty about saying that it's my favorite.
Mine is Ruby and Roses. Here's a link.
I would say my favorite was Lamb Spun in Colorado.
Oh, you like looking forward to it and read the books and everything.
Yeah, it was such a surreal moment, like having read a whole fictional book series about this yarn store and then actually going there and seeing all of the similarities between the books and the actual real life. So that was really special for me. But yeah, you're right. Other than that, it's like the most recent one. They're all amazing.
Yeah, it's hard to pick a favorite.
Yeah, it really is.
Besides Ruby and Roses.
Can you tell they're our friends? What has surprised you most about the fiber industry and community?
I mean, probably just how big it is. I think that's something there's yarn stores everywhere, and obviously before I was like dating you, I'm sure I never would have like looked twice at them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's one of those things, like I wonder what other like big industry type things there are that exist that I just overlook all the time.
Totally.
That's probably it, just how widespread and big it is.
Yeah. And it's been amazing, like getting to go to almost all of the states at this point. It's like, it's everywhere in different ways, but it's everywhere. Mm-hmm. Okay. How do most yarn stores organize their yarn for displaying to customers? I guess this one is kind of a quiz question.
Most do it by weight. Some do it by color. And some do it by like weight and color, which is cool. Like here's all like the reds and like the heavier weights on top and it goes down. But most of the time it's by weight going like up in size around.
Mm-hmm. And then, oh, there's one here. It must not be in this order, but if you had a yarn store or a stash or whatever, what would be your preferred way to organize yarn? You like to organize.
Yeah. Probably. Oh, okay. That's different though. That's two different questions, I think.
Okay.
If I had a store, I think by weight is the easiest. I'm trying to think if I had a store, actually. Like, if I had a stash, it'd probably be by color more.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had a store, it'd probably be by weight and then also split between like commercial and like indie dyed.
Okay.
I think it's kind of nice when those are a little separate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could definitely design like my own yarn store. It probably wouldn't be very good, but at least in my head, how I'd make it easy to film, I could like design something.
You would have a starting point.
Yeah.
I don't know what bug that was. Okay. Do you have a favorite knitting pattern?
Oh. I like it when I feel like we see it a lot. Is it slip strap organza?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've seen that a lot of places made up with like really cool yarn, and it's fun to see it up like that, or like done up like that.
You like really like graphic, like multiple color designs, like the Stephen West.
I think it's just fun to see like the different colors people use and everything.
Yeah.
So it's probably one of my favorites to like see out in the wild.
Yeah. His patterns are really cool. When you're in a yarn store, what's your favorite thing to look at?
My wife.
Please. Did they actually sell to store? Or not, I guess. Could be an item not for sale.
Yeah. I mean, I think for the most part, it's like the indie dyed yarn. It's always fun for me now to find one we haven't seen before,
Mm-hmm.
which gets like a little bit harder. But that's probably my favorite thing to look for.
Yeah. And we're going into an area of the country next that we haven't really been to. Like, we lived in New York City, but we never really ventured out. Now we're going in the Northeast. I think we're going to see a lot of dyers that we haven't seen, like when we've been traveling in other areas. So that will be fun. What is my favorite knitting tool?
Your favorite knitting tool is... We have a Lantern Moon needle set that you like.
Yes, I do.
You really like having like different bags for things?
Like project bags?
Yeah, project bags.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite knitting tool? Ravelry.
Yeah. That's a good tool. I honestly don't really know if I have a favorite tool. Yeah, my needles are probably something that I would be the most like, if I lost it tomorrow, would immediately replace with the same thing, because I really like those needles, and I felt like I waited a long time to be able to be in a place where I could afford those needles. And so they're almost like not just a good tool, but something that's a little bit like a, not sentimental, but like it's like a physical representation of like me reaching another place in my knitting career or something like that. So yeah, maybe the needles, that's probably a good answer. Like that might be what I would have answered. I honestly don't know. Do you enjoy the yarn advent colorway name guessing as much as we do watching?
Yeah, I do. I think it's fun.
You really want to be right when we're doing the guessing. And it also frustrates you if the color is different than what you're imagining it to be. I'm going to tell on you.
I guess. I don't know.
This year, we're going to be guessing Beauty and the Beast. So we need to watch
the animated and the live action.
Yes.
Every day, leading until December 1st.
We're also going to have an elf one, which I don't know if there will be as many like guessing opportunities, but we'll see. We'll try for both of them. Okay, if you had to wind yarn for me, do you think you would be able to do it?
There's a spider on the thing. It just like crawled up under.
Wait, that's a fly.
No, like it's under there.
Ew. Oh my gosh, you're right.
Would I be able to wind it? Yeah, I think there's 3 different ways I could wind it for you.
Oh, okay.
I could get in the car and drive to Bliss. I could definitely set up your little winder and do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it was a small one, I've watched you enough in the car just go like this that I could.
You could do that?
I'm pretty sure.
I feel like we should have a competition. No, you'd have to practice first. Maybe during Advent this year.
Okay.
Then you can help me wind them.
I don't know if I want to help you, but I think I could.
Okay, fair enough. What is your favorite project that I've made, or your least favorite that I've made?
What is my favorite you've made? I don't know if I have good answers for that right away. Was it the tessellated sweater last year that you didn't finish? That was kind of a bummer.
You like that one?
Well, just you didn't finish it.
Is that my least?
It's one of my least favorites.
Oh, gotcha. I might.
Nope. Favorite that you've made? I don't know. I like your new hoodie a lot. I like the Traveler.
I like that one too.
I liked that long summer cardigan.
Yeah.
That you wore forever.
Yeah. I don't really wear that one as much anymore. But I do like that.
I saw it this morning.
Really?
It's upstairs, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Well, maybe I'll wear it again someday. Okay, this one's funny. Why aren't you in the band graphic with me and Toaster?
Oh, because I'm on the driver's side and you just can't see me.
It's true. Plus, it's like hard to have everybody in there.
Yeah, I mean, there's an extra window, but I'm on the driver's side, so.
You can put yourself in there. What is the best husband seating you found at a yarn store?
Oh, okay.
I feel like aside from seating, there's a store that stands out.
Sated Sheep in Austin. They have beer and wine. It's pretty cool.
Yep. Keep yawning.
The one we just went to in Iowa had a whole coffee shop combined next door.
Well, that's true.
Also had beer, wine, coffee, and food.
Yep. Fiber Heart.
Just running through the other ones we've been to that has like really good, cool places to hang out.
You're looking for a whole experience, not just a chair or a couch.
Yeah, I'm just thinking what else has been around. I mean, I didn't like sit in there, but like the Mississippi store we went to.
Yep.
Had like a whole little area. You know, it was a pretty cozy place was when we went to the Little Wolf Knits. Her spot was like pretty cozy.
Her house. That is a good one. That's all the questions.
Oh. Okay.
I feel like I should have like a grand finale one to end on for you, but I didn't think of one.
Bring it.
Let me think.
On the fly.
I feel like we have to look towards the future.
Okay.
What are you looking forward to most coming up on like our last leg of our journey? We have 14 states left to go.
That is a good question. I'm always excited for Rhinebeck and the things that go around it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if there's like really a super yarny answer to that.
That's okay.
I'm just excited to see the Northeast in September and October, I guess.
I think it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to go to the yarn stores. Because all the yarn stores we're going to are going to be brand new to us. Which most of them have been already, but I think all the ones coming up are going to be brand new to us, which will be fun.
Yep, definitely.
Thanks for doing this today.
Yeah.
I know this is like a little bit different for you to come be on this side of the camera. Normally you're the one carrying it around the yarn stores and filming and editing. So thanks for coming and being part of this part of things.
Yeah, this was fun.
Good. I'm glad you had fun. Now we can go get lunch.
I feel like we should keep this awkward small talk up for another minute though. It's like when you're ending an interview, it's like, let's keep going. Actually, I thought of something else.
Okay.
I didn't really.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.